Friday, April 3rd edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Meteorologist Matthew East here along with you. There's a look back at the numbers from yesterday. It was another pretty warm day out there in many spots across the region. Low 70s in Greensboro, some 60s back in the foothill area, 73 the high in Charlotte, 81 in Columbia, 74 in Raleigh, Fayetteville at 76. Now these are 5 a.m. hour temperatures here this morning. You can see it's a pretty mild start to this Good Friday out there. 63 right now in Raleigh, 59 in Charlotte, 65 in Columbia, even 50s in the mountain zones. Winds out of the south and southwest, and get used to that. It's going to be a very breezy day. I'll show you more on that in just a moment, but certainly pretty gusty southerly and southwesterly winds just in advance of an incoming cold front here for today. Now the radar and the satellite imagery pretty active. They're off to the northwest of us, closer to this approaching frontal zone. Now again, ahead of it, we're going to have a lot of southerly flow here today. It's going to be a very warm and very breezy day. Had some showers scattered around the region last night as expected. That's pretty much fading away now. And for a lot of us in the region, dry during the daylight hours today before shower and storm chances then creep in. Although we could see in northwestern North Carolina a few showers and storms as early as later this afternoon. All right, here, take a peek at the radar. These are the, again, this is during the 5 o'clock hour, around 5:30. A couple of lingering showers kind of dying out over the Carolinas, but most folks are dry. But very, very active conditions off to the north and west. A lot of shower and thunderstorm activity. Let me just kind of spin around the radar for you here. You notice here through West Virginia and Kentucky, a lot of electric activity. Still ongoing flood warnings early this morning here through parts of northern Kentucky and southern Indiana. Those are all flash flood warnings. And then further to the southwest, there's even been continued severe weather. Still, as I'm cutting this video, for another few moments, you have a severe thunderstorm warning there south of Springfield, Missouri. There was some tornado, or at least a tornado warning last hour southwest of Springfield. And then look at all the severe weather reports over the past 24 hours. It was an active severe weather day and probably another active one today as this system works eastward. That is an enhanced risk of severe storms from Kentucky down to Mississippi and northeastern Louisiana. Slight risk surrounding that. Now, as far as the Carolinas are concerned, you notice as you head further to the east, the probabilities and the categorical outlook of severe risk really tapers off. So probably in the Carolinas, the best chance of severe storms actually in the mountains, as you get some of this activity maybe holding together from the Tennessee Valley working eastward as this cold front advances to the east. So this is what it looks like for us today. And again, you notice as we get toward very late in the afternoon, that's when we see a little of this activity moving into the mountains and trying to move into even the northwesternmost Piedmont and the northern foothills. But then again, as the front moves in tonight, a little better chance of some scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms. But some of us will be completely dry. You notice this activity really kind of drying out as it tries to advance across the mountains and down into our area. Winds, they'll be an issue today. It's going to be a breezy day. You can see those sustained winds this afternoon, 20 to 30 miles per hour, some gusts upwards of 35 plus miles per hour at times, and a very, very warm day. There's what we're going with for highs across the region. It is a warm Friday forecast. Now, much cooler as we get into the Easter weekend. Any clouds that are around to begin Easter, or I should say to begin Saturday rather, will exit very quickly. Lots of sunshine tomorrow as that high pressure works in, but also significantly cooler. 61 the high tomorrow in Greensboro, 65 in Charlotte, 67 in Raleigh, 68 in Fayetteville. And then here we go, Easter Sunday, as we've been talking about all week long, high pressure directly overhead, and only slowly working eastward then as the day unfolds. So here's what lows are looking like for Sunday morning. It will be chilly out there, with lows well down into the 30s in many mountain, foothill, and Piedmont spots. And again, I even think some of the sand hills are going to be down into the 30s too. A light freeze a possibility, a strong possibility in some spots, and certainly some patchy frost, a good possibility too. But then by Sunday afternoon, there's our highs looking really nice as our Sunday unfolds as we get into the afternoon hours. Now, next week, kind of a rather stagnant and complex setup. The biggest weather player for at least the first half of next week is going to be this frontal zone that's off to the north of us. And that's going to give us kind of a warm and humid setup with daily chances of at least some showers and maybe a few thunderstorms here and there. Now, the European then actually winds up by Wednesday nosing that front down from the north and giving us a much cooler Wednesday. GFS has been a little bit slower with the timing of that. I'll show you more of that here in just a second. All right, so here we go. 0Z GFS run. Weather bell charts here. This is early this afternoon. And again, GFS also trying to indicate a little bit of that activity, making it into northwestern North Carolina. Instability values, oh, actually, this is the wind product. This is what I stuck in here. Wind, certainly, again, southwest, cranking. Then we get to this early evening. Not a lot of precipitation around early this evening, and then you try to see some of that activity developing through later on tonight. I think the bottom line is with the front approaching, a few showers and storms a possibility, but the farther away from the mountains and the foothills you get, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to see any decent activity. But here we go tomorrow. That high pressure working in throughout the region, a much cooler day, and again, that high directly overhead as we start Easter Sunday. So there's the GFS representation of lows. It actually has a low of 30. In Winston-Salem, Greensboro, and Burlington, down to 32 in Lincolnton on the GFS modeling, even down to the upstate mid-30s. So it's going to be a chilly start to the Easter Sunday. If you have a sunrise outdoor service that you're attending Sunday morning, you will need the coats. It is going to be a cold start to the day. But then again, by late in the day, southwesterly winds kicking in, so highs should warm well up into the 60s. And here's just kind of a snapshot of next Wednesday. The European has already brought the wedge in by that point in time. It's just trying to build in on the GFS modeling with this area of high pressure. Again, kind of a stagnant pattern for a lot of the week. You have a low pressure sitting somewhere in this area with a wavy frontal zone off to the east, and if that high pressure can bank in, that's when you get the wedging taking place midweek. But really kind of a complex setup that we'll have to continue to iron out the details about. All right, that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Everyone have a safe and blessed Easter weekend, and God bless.